Hello,
You look like a
everyone.
pooper.
Welcome to the Lion's Den. Welcome to another podcast, episode 4, I believe. Yes, we're back.
We're back. I'm
I know
Naima.
you missed us. I'm Victoria.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Daisy.
And today we're going to be talking about the mental awareness for May.
So as we know, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, so we gotta talk about mental health, even though we already talk about that a lot. It's gonna be the main point.
We're gonna go on a deep dive, guys.
Deep dive.
Very deep.
Deep.
You guys shut up.
Now, usually, what's the most common mental health problem? What is mental health, actually? Mental health is the mental strain on a person's brain due to past trauma experiences or,
Mental health is like the overall well-being of your mental state, which like it's like separate from your physical well-being, but like at some points they do interlock.
I personally think mental health is morely just strain on your brain from past trauma mistakes or mistakes that you even made now. I feel like mental health can come in like a second. Like people feel like I feel like people believe that mental health is like developed over time, but sometimes I feel like it could just come in like that, you know, like what?
I think mental health is, I don't know, it's like some of them can be caused by trauma, but also other ones can just be caused by like things you have rational fears of, like phobias. Phobias are mental health. Like if you're just scared of like high places, you haven't had any trauma by it, you're just scared. That can also be a sign of mental health.
I'm just
Those are called private fears.
anyways.
What do you mean? Anyway,
fears.
don't dismiss it. Go on about your primal fears.
But those are called primal fears. Those are the fears of the instincts that we learned throughout history that we have adapted our bodies and souls to be afraid of. So like that's through evolution. Like how we say if you smell something bad, don't eat it. Or if you see something go kaboomy, don't go near it. It's the same it's called our danger senses. If you see something that could potentially harm or kill you, you stay away from it.
Yeah. Do you think somebody could give themselves mental health disorders?
Yeah.
I think so.
When you purposefully expose yourself to something, knowing full well it can be damaging, and it damages you, that's on you.
Yeah, I feel like it's like, cause I've seen people in that situation. There was this one girl that wasn't supposed to. Actually, let me shut up. But technically, it's kind of just like, it's if you know something's bad, why are you going near it? I'm not saying you deserve it, but at the same time, it's like I'm gonna say if you're a child, you know, like okay, like that was supposed to happen. I'm not saying you deserve it, but I'm saying it's better to know. I'm not saying no one deserves anything, but I'm not saying that like you deserve. But it's like you should have known better. You know this is bad. You're a teenager. You're old enough. Use your noggin.
I feel like when people, when people are in like red flag relationships, like they meet somebody with like just major red flags, and they still. What are you doing?
She pointed out.
They still go into the relationship, no matter what the people say, no matter what they've seen them do. Looking at a few people. And
Let's not point fingers here, guys.
But then they get sad. Not. I'm not looking at any of you. Not any of you guys. Don't worry. But I'm saying they get hurt, and then they get PTSD from like another relationship. They're like, oh, I can't trust anyone. No joke. Probably because you trusted this awful person. Why would you do that? Who told you to do that? They told you not to do that, and you still did it. You gave yourself your own mental illness. What's wrong with you? What are you laughing? Oh my god! How common are mental illnesses?
Very common. You can say 1 out of 5 people have a mental illness.
Actually,
I think of it as more of a spectrum.
I feel like, honestly, he said 1 out of 5 people. I actually think there's a lot more people. It just hasn't been diagnosed yet. And there's a lot more mental like I always hear being like, oh, there are 1.9 victims, or there are 1 out of 5 people. No, there's more. I feel like half of the world has severely mental problems, like bad. And to have it,
I wouldn't say half the world. That's pushing it.
Yeah, because you gotta remember, this century, mental illness have been glorified. So there are people that are just extremely happy with their lives. I've met some of them. They are the most happy people ever.
I mean, yeah, I kind of understand that, but at the same time, it still doesn't, like, you can know happy people, but that doesn't mean you know they're ill. Like, I have a friend, and a lot of you guys know her, actually, and she's one of the most happiest people that I've ever known, but I have to actually, like, talk to her, and she's, like, her life is good. Like, nothing in her life, yeah, you know, everyone here knows her. Her life is good. Like, everything in her life is good so far. But it's, like, still, like, she's been through things where it's, like, she's had mental illness. So it's, like, that's why I say half of the world has mental illnesses, but it's kind of like, one, they either haven't, not half of the world, there are a good portion of people that are not mentally unstable or anything. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of them like that. But at the end of the day, I feel like they're either undiagnosed, they don't realize they have mental disorders because a lot of them have been gaslit to believe that it's not even a real thing, or they just don't tell anybody about it because that's just not who they are as a person. Like, there's some people that I know here that if you talk to them, have a cool conversation, they've had the perfect life. That's what they will tell you. But then it's like, you really deep talk with them, and like, you will hear a story where it's like, that's not okay. And I'm like, yeah, it's not okay. So I just feel like a lot of people have it, but it's just not really that noticeable.
But like, oh, good. Okay. Like, where's the where's the line between it being a mental illness or just a part of life, like development, stuff like that?
Yeah, because like everyone has issues. Everyone.
Exactly. That's
anxiety is the most common mental issue. It's not an illness until it goes to the extreme.
It, to an extent, really isn't a mental issue. It's more just what's that thing?
No, see, nervousness, and then there's anxiety. Anxiety is like the overwhelming. It's like overwhelming nervousness.
Like when it becomes debilitating.
But I read a video. It was like everybody has anxiety, but the people that have like diagnosed anxiety have it to an extent. For example, when you're leaving, like you thought you locked your door, you're walking away, you have anxiety. You're like, oh, no, well, is that? I don't know, but it's kind of like you're like in a way, anxiety kind of like saves you from certain things in a way. Like it's like you think you locked your door. Oh, you're scared that you didn't. You're in your car. Oh, what if I didn't lock my door? You're going through your whole day. What if I didn't lock my door? If you never went back to check if you locked your door, what if you didn't lock your door? You never know, you know? Like, I feel like, in a way, anxiety kind of like, it's an instinct. Like, it's, as he said, something so bad.
I'll tell a personal experience.
I have another, okay, go
So, before this school year started, I used to dread coming here because over the years, I've, like, you know, as I got exposed to more and more internet, I started learning about school shootings. And I have an extensive fear of dying in a terrible way. So, like, the days before school, I dreaded. I didn't want to leave my room. My heart was pounding. I kept on getting constant headaches. I was shaking on the drive home. I had to sit in the back seat so my parents wouldn't see me. I was terrified of coming here. I still am terrified of coming here. Every day I have to mentally prepare myself. Because, like, what if someone just had one bad day? What if someone, like, that's why I hate the fight here. Because it's like, and what if someone pulls out a gun? They go boom. We're done. That's why during lunch, I stay in the RTC room. Because it might not be the most secure, but no one's going to go in there. Because it has an auto-lock door that they cannot unlock unless you have the key. So I'm terrified of being. I don't say I hate school because I hate the people in it. I don't say I hate school because I hate the school. I hate school because I'm terrified of what will happen, and I can't go straight home, or I can't run straight outside. I hate being in enclosed spaces, period. No, it's just the fear of me not being able to escape. When the issue got so bad, I started planning out escape. Like, this has been going on ever since I was like 5. So, like, I've been planning out escape ways every room I get to. This was the first room too, and I found out both these doors were locked. I was about to quit this program. Like, I forced myself to stay here. That's why I hate Quintero's class. That's why I hate what's her name, Coach Howe's class, because they're both in the middle of the school. So if there's a school shooter that comes in, we're done for. We're not done for, but we're. And Miss Quintero has a 2-way door. So if Miss Quadera's room gets broken into,
3-way.
2-way.
I mean,
I'm talking about like a 2-way into the classroom.
Oh, okay.
Because what if I get out and I see one of my closest friends dead on the floor. That's not something you can get over like quickly. You know, I don't like feeling grief, and I haven't felt that way in a good long time. Last year, my biggest goal was to not make any more friends. So just in case this did happen, I wouldn't feel attached. It'd be like, damn. At least I don't got school for the rest of the year, though. But now it's like, damn. Say a friend fell down the stairs, and it's like, they're trying to convince you to get over your fear to somehow try to... No, I'm using that wrong. Hold up. They're not. They're like trying to reject what happened to you so they can cope with their own well-being. Because it's like, if you're explaining an exact situation I was in, then that means that happened to me too. But I don't want to accept that, because they would rather persevere their own mental state than accept what happened to them so they could move on. But it's always gonna have that subconscious thought. Yeah, like say a Daisy got assaulted, and they're like, but would you really no? Like they went through domestic abuse, and they was like, can you really call that domestic abuse? Like you kind of did that to yourself. You were disobeying them. It's like they didn't deserve that, and it was like, why are you defending it so hard? Because like I did it, he hit me, but it's like I shouldn't have spoken out of place.
Kind of like gaslighting yourself.
They didn't do that to me because I understand. It's like they're trying to deny what happened to save their own mental state, and if they accept what happened, they're gonna break. Any type of defense mechanism in technicality is a mental issue because you're not confronting lying. Like lying could be a mental health issue, acting out like the negative defense mechanisms.
Like, some people just dress like how they want, but also at the same time, I feel like if you're really friends with someone and you can kind of just tell, it's like there's been times where it's like, okay, this is gonna sound real cringy, chat, all right. But there's times where, like, you can just kind of look in a person's eyes and, like, tell, like, oh, yeah, they're kind of going through something. Because there's been times, like, for example, my friends would, like, be, like, going through something clearly, and, like, it's just, they just wasn't their normal self. Like, they was just acting kind of out of place. And you kind of look at their eyes, you can tell they were, like, it's, like, mentally drained. Like, their happiness is not in their eyes no more. And I feel like it's not the only way to tell. Sometimes you're wrong, trust me. But at the same time, it's a really good way. Like, if you know your friends and they're always just dressing bummy. Because I know when I'm sad, I dress bummy as heck. Like, trust.
I just dress bummy.
You just stop caring.
Yeah, like...
Point. This is mainly for women, but it can be used with men too.
Absolutely.
And mostly victims of,
Rape,
sexual assault. So yeah, SA. So most victims like that, you can usually tell from their progress of how but it can be really, because some people like to avoid the clothes they wore when the assault happened, because it can either bring back memories or they fear that it's going to happen again. But sometimes they could wear really concealing clothing so no one sees their body, so no one can give them a reason. So it's like, I can't give them a reason for this to happen. Or some people can wear appealing clothing because they became hypersexual after the experience. Actually, this ain't my thing to talk about.
Or it's like when people wear like really like exposing clothing, it could be a mental illness. Like how some people seek for like male recognition.
Mm-hmm.
They'll wear like really exposing clothing because they feel like they need to be praised in order to be happy. Because they didn't get the love they needed from their male figure, so they're trying to get it from others, which can be like, when people like really attention seek because they're not pick me, but they just don't feel seen.
Yeah.
It's like that. They just want to feel seen.
That's another thing. Like, kind of on to what she was saying. Like, I feel like there's like, okay, you know how there's kind of like, when people get raped and sexually assaulted or something like that, I'm just going to use sexual assault. It's kind of like, there's like things you can clearly see, like aftermath, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll look at like the aftermath effects of sexual assault and how a person will act and stuff like that. I would want to say, and that's just for a lot of mental illnesses, that sometimes those things aren't like truly correct, because again, like as I said, everyone's different and stuff like that. Some people, like as everyone said, not saying he's wrong, because he is right, that's very common, but yeah, some people won't wear the clothes that they wouldn't wear, but some people will wear the clothes. Like, I'm just saying that sometimes everything you see on Google, like you're searching on mental health and stuff like that, it's still being studied. Mental health is still being studied every day. So it's like if you're trying to search up effects and stuff like that, everyone has different effects. So if you're like, oh, I never noticed, it's okay. Like this is just the other people. Like it's okay. Like it's not your fault that you didn't notice, but because like again, everybody's different. Everyone has different effects and different signs. So it's like, do you feel like some mental illnesses are so normalized to the point where someone's like, yeah, I have this mental illness, people are just like, oh yeah, you're fine, because you said you watched the video and someone was like, I feel this way, and it was like, yeah, everyone feels that way. Not saying whatever, yeah, but I'm saying like, do you think some mental illnesses are like normalized to that point where it's like,
some people don't take it seriously. Like some people will make jokes about like, oh man, I'm so sad, like I'm about to kill myself, and then they start laughing, and then everybody starts laughing with them, but it's like they're serious and they just don't know why. Like all y'all are evil.
I feel like within our generation, depression is very normalized, and like feelings of hating yourself.
Oh yeah,
like that's really prominent in media now.
This goes into a point that I talked about in my English class. This society, the 21st, not the 21st, yeah, just the 21st century, right? The 21st century normalized not being okay and being comfortable so much that these toxic behaviors are more glorified, because it's like, well, back when I was 12, my dad died. Yeah, that doesn't excuse you beating your girlfriend at all.
Oh, I mean,
it's like, it's normalized to the point where people do not want to change because they're comfortable with who they are. But you cannot,
I understand what you're saying.
You cannot be comfortable at the bottom.
Yeah.
You have to, sometimes, it might be really hard, but you have to muster up that courage to go beyond yourself. You have to stand next to people that will encourage that, not people that will encourage you to not become better, because those are people that are also on the same level, and they know that they will lose you if you become better, because they know that that's the level that they rose up to from their rock bottom. That is just their bottom.
Also on that, I feel like when people like that see someone that's actually happy, like, mentally stable now, and like, since, as you said, it's very normalized in this generation to be comfortable on like not being okay, when they see someone that's like actually happy in their life and like mentally stable, and they try to interact with that person, they'd be like, they wouldn't be used. This goes to relationships, for example. Like there will be like a person A, a guy or whatever. A lot of times a guy, but who cares, whatever. And it'll be a girl, and she's not really mentally stable. A lot of times, if there's a not mentally stable partner and a mentally stable partner, and they go together, there'll be a lot of issues in their relationship, because one side won't understand why they're acting like this, and you should try to self-sabotage, because it's like they don't feel like they deserve it. But one side one side isn't used to the other, is what I'm trying to say. Like one side is, so normalized to toxicity, so normalized to not being okay, to the point where this is someone that is okay and like that does certain things. They'd be like, why are you doing that? That's kind of weird. I don't want to be with you. And it's like, no, that's kind of normal. It's like y'all know what I'm trying to say?
I feel like the mentally stable person, like they go into that relationship thinking like, I can fix them. Yeah, I can make them better. And then they can't.
And another example, for example, like, on TikTok, Leno's going to be like, oh yeah, no girl can talk to my man, like, at all, and like, he can't have friends at all, and like, he can't do nothing at all because his girlfriend wouldn't allow him to, or something like that. And then it's like, and then when he actually does have a friend that is like maybe female, she'll get mad at him, and it's like, no, he's not kind of in the wrong. Like, it's just, that's toxic. Personally, for me, like,
wait, go ahead.
No, I was done. Go ahead.
I've always wondered how how you never know what's like, if someone is hurting or if someone's not, because it's like different. I always wonder how they give like percentages. Like they'd be like, oh, 40% of the population is suffering from severe anxiety. How do you know? They only know that from what's expressed.
Like the how many people are actually getting help. That's why I was like, you never really know, to be honest.
But you never, like, what about the people who's not getting help? They don't know about them.
Like every time I be like,
percentage.
When people be like, oh yeah, 1% of the female population have been SAD, I'm like, it's more.
Actually, it's like, the percentage said 97.
Okay, 97 of the 97? I swear it was like
what?
Lower.
Sexually assaulted in the last night.
Lower. Also, quick PTSA: anybody can be sexually assaulted, no matter the gender, age, or whatever. If you're a guy and you dated a 20-year-old woman, that isn't a flex. You were groomed, and yeah, this is a very productive conversation. Like, we learned a lot of new things and a lot of each other's point of view. I just like talking to my friends, guys.
Closing remarks.
What's it called? Open to how people are feeling. Like, even if you think there's nothing wrong, I think you should still check up on people. Like, if your friends have talked to them in a long time, be like, hey, how are you feeling? Don't just be like, what are you doing? You could be like, how are you feeling? How do you feel right now? And then they'll probably tell you, and even if they don't, they'll probably tell you eventually.
Now, mental health needs to be normalized. That's for men. No offense to you guys, but mostly men, because we are so inept with this I'm okay, everyone else have to be okay mentality that they will not express their emotions.
Yeah, the suicide rate for men is very high, a lot higher.
And is that for you?
But yeah, so that was your mental health awareness podcast. I'm Aaron.
I'm Victoria.
Naima. Sorry.
I'm a Daisy.
And catch you on the flip side, buckaroo. Check out Largo Excellence on YouTube. The name will be right here. And leave suggestions on what we should talk about. If you do end up seeing this, like and subscribe, and follow the Instagram.